Well, Matt, thanks for joining us on Raw Vision here. How did the boys pull up generally out of round one?
Yeah, not too bad. A few, little physical issues. Probably more psychological rather than physical. Obviously, a bit disappointed, but straight back into training the next day and over that weekend that we weren't playing. So, from a physical point of view, it was one of the positives out of the weekend not to have any injuries from the game.
And we don't have too many on the injury list at the minute, but just going through a few individuals. Cale Moore, how's his progress going?
Yeah, Cal's had some issues with his hips, and he had a small arthroscope done to his hip just to repair some cartilage, and he's really improving pretty quickly. So, running very strongly, doing some light football activities. We expect him to get back into full training within the next week to 2 weeks. So, really should only be maybe a 3-week mark before he's returning to play.
And Ben Griffiths has been coming back from a shoulder injury. How's he tracking?
Yeah, we've obviously been pretty cautious with Ben just because of his history, both shoulders, having reconstructed both shoulders over the last few years. So he had some issues with them last year, had some fairly significant surgery done at the end of the season. And we always said that we wouldn't go by a time frame, that we'd actually go by measurables with him. So we want to make sure that we've got certain criteria that we meet from his shoulder rehab before we return him to play. Pleasing to see that he's ticked a lot of those boxes already, and just means that we get some more confidence when we throw him back into full contact that his body will stand up to the rigours.
And we obviously had the Thursday night game last week and going into a Friday game with an extended break. Has that changed the way you organise the training schedule this week?
Yeah, we have a pretty set routine week to week. But it just meant that they had to come in Sunday morning and train. So they had Friday as a recovery day, Saturday was their day off. We trained Sunday morning, and really from Sunday we've just had a normal week coming into a Friday game. So it's always nice to get an extended break early in the season as they adapt to the intensity of AFL footy again. Those early games that certainly take a bit of put a bit of stress through the body, and particularly as we've seen over round one. A lot of teams have found that it's been quite challenging. A lot of guys suffering from cramp and the fatigue element of the game, which is pretty common in round one anyway. So it's been handy to have an 8-day break, and we get another one next week as well, following the Friday night game. So we really focus on recovery early in the week, and then gives us an opportunity to get some good training sessions into them as well.
And how different is training during the season as compared to the pre-season? Obviously, different loading at different times of the year. How does it work during the season?
Yeah, again, we have things very structured, very routine, and so their day off's quite standard each week. Big recovery focus in the first 48 to 72 hours. From a conditioning point of view, we talk to the players about there are 3 main opportunities for physical conditioning in season. The number one is game day, which is obvious. It's where they get their most work in. The second session is main training, and then the third session is an extra conditioning session early in the week, apart from 6-day turnarounds where we have more of a focus on extra recovery. And that extra conditioning is quite often some sub-maximal running, but it may be cross-training based on the physical status of the player. But we really stick to a pretty strong routine. All our meetings are set. We have our whole yearly program set pretty much in January. And as soon as the draw comes out, we know what's and the players know what's expected day in, day out.
And obviously, you just mentioned recovery there. It's pretty important. The boys are now in the brand new facility here. How are they enjoying the recovery facilities here?
Yeah, it's been a big change. One thing I found with the ME Bank Centre is that they spend a lot more time here. They're actually really keen to be here, and they're not looking to duck off. They've got terrific facilities. They've got spaces where they can get their own time and space, and they can eat. And so there's not the necessity to get away from here and go to cafes or somewhere else to rest. They've got a sleep room here as well where they can actually take a nap during the day if need be, because we have some pretty long days as well with meetings and training and recovery and weight training, etc. The recovery room itself is state of the art, and guys are more than happy to spend extra time here, which I think in the short term's given them a real lift, but I think over the journey it's going to be a major positive for the footy club.
Thanks for joining us, Matt, and good luck for the weekend.
No worries, thanks.